Hi everyone, it's Wonderful O Wednesday, and it's also Words of Wisdom. Today we had depicted the topic to be caring for a senior loved one as their caretaker versus arranging care for a senior loved one. What is the difference? Well, let's start off by talking about caring for an aging parent or a senior loved one, and about 5 ways to protect your own peace and really to have a peace of mind. As a family caregiver, what are you doing to protect your own health and peace of mind? If you're looking after an older adult, this is an important question to ask yourself on a regular basis, especially when life starts to feel hectic or overwhelming. Caregiving can be stressful and time consuming, though it is undoubtedly one of the greatest acts of love there is. It also could be a major drain on your time and resources. It's easy to feel exhausted, stretched thin, or preoccupied with your loved one's health and well-being. In fact, it is quite common for caregivers to worry so much that they eventually suffer from burnout. Studies have shown that caregivers commonly suffer from stress. A large majority of caregivers, they don't get enough time of sleep or exercise, and may even say they put their own health on the back burner. As a caregiver, you deserve the chance to rest and recharge. Fortunately, there are many ways to protect your own happiness, health, and a peace of mind, while also making sure that your loved one are supported and cared for. Ready to prioritize your own peace of mind? Here are 5 important things for family caregivers to consider at the start of caregiving. 1. Know the signs of potential trouble. As a caregiver, remember there's a limit to what you can do alone. You're not Superman or Superwoman, and there are many come a time when the best thing you can do for your senior loved one and yourself is to reach out for help. So it's also important as a family caregiver to recognize yellow flags, which is to pause, but also red flags to indicate that there may be time to bring in additional support. Generally, there are 2 major areas to watch out for: signs to consider and warning signs to seek out to get professional senior companion care services. You'll see me online multiple times when people ask for a caregiver. I always recommend working with a home care agency. Not only is that staff trained, they are licensed, bonded, and insured, which is very important for safety and for liability reasons. So you need to look into this quite diligently. Just don't make a quick decision because you're overwhelmed at that point in time. Your loved one needs to keep their daily activities such as bathing, walking, cooking, and eating, which is part of their ADLs, which is activities of daily living. If they're unable to do this, this is where the caregiver coming into the home is wonderful. It gives you a break that you can leave and you could, if you're working or run chores or just maybe pamper yourself, getting a good haircut, massage, or whatever. But these ADLs really need to be watched over by the caregiver that's trained to do so. You notice a dramatic change in your loved one in their appearance, such as weight loss, bruising, or poor hygiene or grooming. They're wearing the same clothes. They have a smell. They have soiled clothes. Their general appearance is not kept at all anymore. This is really a time to know that a caregiver needs to be involved. Your loved one's living environment becomes very messy, cluttered, or dangerous. Sometimes walkways are really something that can make them fall, or they're hoarding, or unpaid bills that are surmounting. But something like that is not a safe environment to be in, and it requires a caregiver. Your older adults have become withdrawn and socially irritated, well, and isolated. What ends up happening is they don't want anybody to realize they're declining and they're losing their independence. So they're not going to functions, they're not entertaining in their home, or they're becoming very socially inept. So these are signs to say, we need to get involved. Everybody in the family needs to get involved as like a triage team. But you also notice mental and behavioral challenges and changes where your elderly loved one forgets things or becomes very confused or very irritated, sometimes mood swings, combative, poor speech. It's also a sign that somebody needs to look after them more than just a spot here and there. So these are signs for potential trouble that could lead into more surmountable reasons for care. So if you notice this early on, it is important to make a mental note of this, get with the family and say, we need to do something with mom, dad, grandma, whoever that it may be. So now, you're asking your loved one a lot of questions also. Are you irritable all the time, or are you losing sleep? But it's also something to ask yourself as the main caregiver. Am I irritable all the time? Am I losing sleep? Am I losing interest in things I used to love? What it's doing is replicating what your loved one's going through, because you're the caregiver, you're taking the responsibility over, and these are the potential troubles that you get involved in. So you want to recognize this early on. 2, protect your own health. As a loving caregiver, it is easy to devote all of your time and attention to your loved one, supporting their needs, and suffer your own needs and putting your needs on the back burner. And sometimes it really becomes burnout. So much time that that you're going to need care. So what happens is that the caregiver becomes the weakened one, and the one that's being cared for, yes, is still needing that care, but by somebody that is not able longer to do it because you're exhausted. During this time, you really need to drink plenty of water, get a healthy amount of rest at night, make time to exercise and stay active, but keep up to date with any of the medications that you're taking, as well as your loved one. Talk to someone if you need help, such as a therapist or a support group. There's plenty of them out there. There's wonderful caregiver support groups out there. Keep up with the personal doctor's visits and appointments for yourself as well. Number 3, give yourself a break. As a caregiver, it's easy to feel the weight on your shoulders, and it feels like you're being smothered. This is a particular time that members of the sandwich generation, meaning in between, are looking out for loved ones and younger kids at the same time. So like I would be the sandwich generation, meaning taking care of my mother and then also taking care of my grandchild. So that generation, the sandwich generation, is exhausted because they're tending to everybody else besides themselves. Taking time to meditate each day, maybe take a class and stuff like that, is enriching yourself and giving yourself a break. So if you get home care, actually during these times, to get a break of being a caregiver, if you're the main caregiver, it is to indulge in yourself and doing these things that are not out of ordinary. It's really replenishing yourself and taking care of yourself. Sometimes even traveling on a vacation, if you make sure that your loved one has a respite stay. Home care is wonderful. Yes, some of them are not skilled. That means a nurse or therapy is not out there, but and they can't do medication management, but that is something that maybe you can set up beforehand, but it's something, at least a break of a week here, respite, or in the evening hours when you need to go to sleep, is to have a caregiver there at night. Number 4 is to make use of technology. During the day, if your loved one is not falling a lot or has any fall risks or mobility issues. They just need to be looked upon and served. Is to get special sensors in the house, home security features as well too, and equip your loved ones with alert buttons that I've fallen and I can't get up, that they could push it when they feel that they have a need. But also, quite honest with you, not to rely on that solely, because if somebody's got mobility issues or if they hit their head, they're not going to know to push that alarm as well too. Automated pill dispensers, so you don't have to worry about them taking their medication on time. And there's digital calendars, so they know what day of the week that it is. But also to have a mobile, maybe provider come into the home, meaning home health as well, to produce any nursing duties, but also therapy duties, but also having a mobile physician or nurse practitioner coming home to take care of your loved one versus getting them out to an appointment. So having a mobile one is based on need. And if it's an emergent situation, they could come out much faster than actually making an appointment at the doctor's. Number 5, most important, know when to ask for help. If you don't do it, you're going to lose it, okay? So what I'm trying to stress with you is, as being the caregiver, you have to know where you're about at your limits. You know how much gas is in your car because it has a gauge, right? So when it's near empty, you replenish. Don't wait till you go to empty, that you have no more energy left, that you ask for help. Really, it should be a half full spectrum, that you should really know where your limitations are and honestly get some help from a home care agency, a wonderful provider like the mobile medical provider, as I told you, or home health care also to provide some care. So this way you can take a break as needed. But also, this is also a very, very, very good time to realize that maybe mom and dad are not appropriate to stay home anywhere, where assisted living is different than a nursing home, is that they can have a lifestyle. They have people watching over them all day long, meaning health-wise, but also involvement-wise. So if you know that your loved one is now in an assisted living and is thriving and very involved socially, because the neighbor's down the hall, even if it's snowing outside, don't matter, it's down the hall, they're going to be enriched. I'm going to bet you bottoms dollar that your loved one you're going to have to make an appointment to see them when they're in senior living, versus, oh my gosh, you're busy this weekend or you're busy this night. Okay, they're going to invite you over for dinner. So now they become hosts. So it might be a good thought to know when to ask for help, or when senior living, don't wait till it's imminent, that it might be something that you want to address on an early start. So the most important thing is being a caregiver, getting a caregiver, or when it's time that caregiving is much more important outside of the home and in senior living. As always, I appreciate you coming on and watching WOW, Wonderful Old Wednesday, and also Words of Wonder, Words of Wisdom and Wonder. But I'd like you to go to my website. It's goldenruleseniorplacement.com, and there you will find a whole host of information, my demographics, bio, testimonials, various options, also resources, a whole library of not only Tuesday Talks, but now of Words of Wisdom to look upon on something that might interest you. Next week, we are going to be talking about February is Declutter for a Cause Month. What does it look like for you and your senior loved one? Decluttering, downsizing, what does that look like? Have wonderful resources, but let's talk about it, okay? Thank you so much for visiting Wonderful Old Wednesday and Words of Wisdom. Until next week, have a blessed one. Remember, care for you so you can care for others. Bye-bye now.